And I asked him a question that if you find yourself in a desert, you travel and then you suddenly find yourself in a desert with $5 billion in desert, or 1 billion naira, and there is nobody on the island with you, your need at the time will not be the money. Money will not be what you will need immediately, but because you cannot spend the money in the desert. You need something much more than money. You need safety. You need to find a way out. Whatever will give you peace. You need food. If you stay there for long, you need water. And you can agree with me that money in the desert cannot buy you water or buy you fruit. You need to get into the farm or to the forest and hunt for food and get water. So you can see that the money becomes useless while you are there in the desert. Very few months back now, we had this problem with the cash, that some people had to buy money, their own money, with money. For you to get 10,000 naira, there was scarcity of cash everywhere. And for you to even have access to 10,000 naira, you have to pay 2K or 3,000 naira, even 4K to get 10,000 naira. How many of you experienced that? And you see that at the time, I know of people who were not so particular about the money. Somebody will come, okay, I have this. Do you have, I need food, or you need this. And some people were actually exchanging and they didn't care about the money that they have in the bank account, because they didn't want to spend. Money was so scarce, there was no money anywhere. And for you to get money, you have to spend money to get more money. So some came to reality that if I need yam and you have gari, market women were doing it. Give me some yam and take gari. That was happening at the time. In fact, if you go to the villages at the time, you see that they were actually exchanging food for what they need. And they were not so bothered about the money. So money at the time didn't really make any sense. There is somebody called Escobar, Pablo Escobar. I don't know if you heard about him. Pablo Escobar was so rich from the 80s, and he died in 1993. Pablo Escobar was so rich that he was richer than the government, his own government, the country. In fact, he offered to pay the debt of the country. Good morning, welcome. He offered to pay the debt. The country was owing about $10 billion. And this guy offered to pay that money. He was into all that, and he was one of the wealthiest drug lord at the time. The worth of Escobar Pablo was about $30 billion. In 2022, we'd have to value what the guy had at the time he died, was worth about $70 billion. But you know, when he was on the run in 1992, and then his daughter was sick, this guy needed to burn $2 million just to make his daughter warm. He was not interested about the money. He just wanted his daughter to be fine. So it goes to tell us that it's not exactly the money that I need. It is something else that I need, and money will help me to get it. And so I said, if you need to get that stuff, create value, it will attract money to you. And if we have the mentality that money is all I need, I've said it here, then you will not get it. Because the whole of those who have the money, or the whole of those who work for the money, don't get it. And so I made this explanation to him, whether he got that explanation or not. He didn't. But today we're looking at something very interesting. We're looking at work ethics and personal development. Work ethics. It is my usual self to always, sorry. Can get this. Work ethics and personal development. Work ethics and personal development for realtors. This is 1,000 naira. This is 1,000 naira. We all know that. If I squeeze this money and I give it to somebody, will he take it? If I write on it or sign my signature on it and I give it to you, will you take it? No matter what I do to this money, whether I deface it or squeeze it or rumple it, it doesn't reduce the value of this money. How many people need this money? Who needs this money? You see, the truth is that God has given us everything. Everything that you ever need in life is there. But what we don't always do is to take a step to go for it. We stay put and pray and pray and pray, go to the mountain. And what you're looking for is right there looking at you. And if you don't make a push to go get it, it's over there. And that is where we need work. Some of us came to this building and some of us used the elevator, right? You got into the elevator and the elevator is waiting for you to instruct it. And if you stand in the elevator and you don't press any button and tell it what to do, the elevator will not move. The elevator will not go anywhere. You have to instruct, you have to tell the elevator and press the button to take you to the floor that you want to go. And that is how God has blessed so many of us. All of us. God has given us brain so that we can use it to think and work ethics and personal development. Before I get started a little bit into this, as of yesterday or as of today, there are 8.1 billion people in the world. There are 8.1 billion people in the world as of this morning. Over 320,000 people were given birth to yesterday. And over 145,000 people died yesterday. This year alone, in 2023, from January to November, 120 million people have been given birth to. And 54 million deaths have been recorded from January to November. More people enter the world, few people die. 120 people were birthed into the world, 54 people left. And you can see that the growth begins to go on and on. It is being predicted that by 2050, there will be 10 billion people in the world. And you can see that the whole of people are trying to see how they can reduce the world population with the COVID-19 and the rest that came thereafter, to reduce the world population. Why? Because they feel that in 2050, the world will not have the capacity to carry 10 billion people in the world. Nigeria is the sixth most populous nation in the world. India is the most populous nation in the world, 1.43 billion. China has 1.42 billion. USA 340 million. Indonesia 278 million. Pakistan 242. Nigeria is 225 million. And more people keep coming into the world. Lagos alone has about over 20 million people living in Lagos. Ghana has about 17 million people. Now, in the whole of Ghana, the population of Lagos is much more bigger and larger than the whole of Ghana. Now, the Lagos is so congested, and everybody is fighting for space. Everybody is fighting for space. From the beginning of the world to date, it is estimated that 117 billion people have been born into the world. 109 billion people have died so far. And now this takes us to what? Work. What is work? When I first looked at this message, work ethics, and I had to go and look at workplace ethics, it's a different ballgame. You're a realtor today, you're PBO. If I'm going to talk to staff or to employees of an organization, I'll be talking about workplace ethics. But talking to PBOs, and of course, this has to do with even start with everybody, we can begin to look at what is work. What is work? What is work? I will define what work is. Work is any activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. Work is any activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. A lot of people work and they are frustrated. Work is needed for us to move on. No matter where you are, we see the inventions, the good thing that we see about life today. We see the skyscrapers, we see the aeroplane, we see the tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa in Dubai. All of these are results of work. And work is required for us to expand ourselves. Work is required for us to grow beyond where we are. Without work, nothing works. And so every man needs work in order to get to the next level. What will take us to the next level, it is work. And we have to develop very strong ethics, work ethics, if we're going to achieve anything worthwhile in life. Most time people come to work and the thing that they look out for, I resume work. And you see them looking at the time they want to go home. They're all concerned about work. There is no motivation. There is no passion. There is no vision. It is just work and then get paid at the end of the day. If this is the approach to life, you will not make much out of life. If the approach to life is about, I just need to work and then get salary and go home, and you run around that routine, if you check out the routine that a normal work person does, I wake up in the morning, I go to work 8 o'clock, I close 5 o'clock, and then I get into the traffic, go home, watch TV, wake up, and you keep running around. That's the rat race. And before you know it, day in, day out, the man grows and gets old and dies. For us to understand how work can be of benefit to me, I must understand what purpose is all about. I must know vision is all about. Purpose means the intent of a thing. The intent of a thing. Purpose means the intent of a thing. If I ask you today, where is the richest, the wealthiest place in the world today? What will you tell me? God bless you, sir. Please, let's clap for him. I told you you're going to tell me Dubai. The wealthiest place in the world today is not Dubai. It is not the King's Palace. It is not Aso Rock. There is nowhere in the world today that you can so talk about and refer to as the wealthiest place. The wealthiest place in the world today, it is the cemetery. Why? Because a lot of people who did not discover talents, a lot of people who did not discover themselves, who did not utilize everything that God gave to them, are in the cemetery. People who die with their gifting, with their talents, are buried in the cemetery. A lot of unknown musicians that we would have talked about today are in the cemetery. People who would have come up with great inventions are in the cemetery. So the cemetery becomes the wealthiest place on the planet Earth. And so that is why it is important for us to understand our purpose so that the work can become meaningful to us. To understand our purpose, to understand our vision, to know where we're going, to know how to utilize, how to get myself working. Why? Because work is what will produce for you what you need in life. Work is what will expand your capacity. It even says that all inventions of the world that we have today, all the inventions, the skyscraper, the aeroplane, the Microsoft, the iPhone and what have you, it is only 5% of man's brain capacity that have generated that. Only 5% of the man's brain. That means that God put so much in us that we cannot even utilize or do 50% of that. The brain capacity is so much. Now, if we have to convert the brain capacity to electricity, do you know that just one person can sustain an entire community for at least 10 days with the kind of capacity that we have embedded on our inside? And that is why it is important for us to know who I am. And so the first thing that I must understand about life is to understand my purpose on earth. Why am I here? A lot of people don't even ask the question, why I'm here. A lot of people don't even understand where I'm going. A lot of people don't even understand, what am I doing with myself? And that is why people work so frustrated. Why? Because they fail to understand purpose about themselves. They fail to understand vision. They fail to understand what is inside of them, how they can utilize that. And when you know your purpose, what becomes meaningful to you. The wealthiest people today, like I said, don't sleep 8 hours a day. The wealthiest people don't sleep 6 hours a day. A lot of people stay up in the night. Now, when you see a woman who sleeps 8 hours, 10 hours, what is happening? Poverty is knocking. Allow him to sleep. Why? Because sleepers will end up with poverty. And that is why there are 3 kinds of people in the world today. 3 kinds of people in the world today. And now you need to know, where do you belong? We have the VNP, we have the VDP, and we have the VAP. VNP stands for very needy people. There are 8.1 billion people in the world. But do you know that about 7 billion people are here? Only 5% of the world population belong here. VNP stands for very needy people. VDP stands for very drainy people. And VAP stands for value-added people. Now here you find them everywhere. In fact, you met them on your way coming down to this place. The beggars. Those who sleep by the roadside, who wake up in the morning and go begging. They're everywhere. Those who are blind and feel that I need to beg to eat. There are people who are blind and are still doing something great. There's a great musician who is blind from birth. And he's, I don't know, Koopman. He has never seen before, but you can see the great thing the guy is doing in the music industry. Even his own child as well is blind. So you see, but he is not here. But guess what? With his deficiency, the guy is adding value to the world. Now, you have these as well. The very draining people are those very closest to you. Your friends who want to pull you back. The moment somebody becomes a bit rich in the family, everybody clusters around him to try to pull him back. Your family, your friends, your drivers. Now, you have 2 kids, but your driver have 10 children. You can see there is a problem already. And the guy comes begging, Baba, your children have to go to school. Okay, please, I need help. I need help. Your siblings who comes after you. And guess what? The more you try to add value to yourself, these people distract you. You're going for a seminar. You're going for training. They keep calling you while in the seminar. The other time I was here and I got called from friends and I keep trying to stop the call. And by the time you want to listen to the voice message of the call, it is one need or the other. While you're adding value to yourself, these people try to reduce you. And some of them are seeing how they can pull you back to where they are. A lot of these people here do not like you. Some of them do not like you. Just because you're rich. And they become jealous of you. Some will even want to kill you. And some will do everything to make sure that you are back on the same level with them. They're here. And so we have them in every family in Nigeria. I have in my own family as well. In every family in Nigeria, amongst your friends, among your family, they're here. The very dreaded people. These are people you need to watch out for. Because you cannot push them away. You can do without them. They are there. They're your family. They're your friends. Now, these people are very few in number. I told you that the world population, only 5% people are adding value to the world. The Bill Gates belongs here. Thomas E. Edison belongs here. The Wright brothers belong here. Isaac Newton belongs here. And so, where do I belong? And for me to be here, I must know why I'm here. I must understand my purpose. I must know what I'm about. I must understand what is my vision for living. We are all here today because of the Owumeres. How many of you know the Owumeres? Dr. Jane and Dr. Augustine. They started this company 12 years ago. They started this company March. I want to tell you, March 2012, 11 years ago. But do you know that before they start, and that is why you see, when value becomes what you're so particular about, value attracts. The more you build value for yourself, you see that it attracts people to your life. Value is like the light. The moment you put it on, everywhere becomes shining. People want to go to the light. Now, 11 years ago or 12 years ago, the old marriage were nobody to be reckoned with. They had nothing. Nobody to be reckoned with. Nobody wanted to work with them. In fact, they were broke. As a matter of fact, from the story I heard, they had to sleep under the bridge one of those days. They didn't have jobs and they were married. Now, they needed 300,000 naira to sort out home problem. They didn't have a vision. There was no reason for living. In fact, none of us would have been here until they discovered their purpose. And when they discover their purpose, they have to bring work. They have to initiate strong work ethics and keep at it until now. And you can tell me the kind of success they have achieved so far. Now, when they were trying to make a move and trying to get a job, no job came. They went to a real estate firm and said, well, we have nothing to lose. Can we sell your property for you? And then you pay us commission. They never had vision. There was nothing about, but now that is one thing about work. While you wait for the vision, get yourself engaged in something. It might not be the thing for you right now. It might not be what you're looking for. It might not be the purpose for your living. But find something and do. Now, Bishop T.D. Jakes said his son asked him, Daddy, what I'm doing, I don't feel it's the thing for me. And Bishop T.D. Jakes told him, it might not be the thing for you, but it is the thing that will take you to the thing. So while you're working, while you're giving your best, while you're doing your best, while you're giving it all, work and give your best to work, because work is what that will define, that will expand you. There was a time when there was nothing for me. I have to hit the street and sell shoes. I have to hit the street and sell books. I have to hit the street and talk to people. Why? Because I've got to do it. There was a time when there was no job. I've got to apply to be a driver. It is not where I'm going. But sometimes you've got to get yourself engaged and keep working until you get there. So while they were waiting for P1 Group to come to bed, they found a company and they started selling. They went on the street. Mr., as he was referred to at the time, Mr. Augustine and Mrs. Jane went to the street with flyers to give the flyers out, to talk to people, to market the product of another man's company. They went to VI, they went to Lekki, they were talking to drivers, asking him to share the story. They did all of that looks like they are now big boys. Nobody would even see that. Did they ever go through what they went through? They did all of that for months. Not one sale came in. They went back to the company and they came up with payment plans. That having people to pay one off was quite very tough. Can we have payment plan? They have initial deposit and then you can spread the payment. They went back again to the street and then their money started coming in. Alert started coming in. It was there and then that they discovered their purpose for living. There and then. Why? Because the commission that they received, and they said, if we can sell this much for another company, why can't we start our own company? And that was how P1 Group was baited March 2012 with a vision. Why? Because one thing about it, the moment you discover your purpose, you've got to define your vision. Vision comes from purpose. When you discover your purpose, you've got to find your vision. And what is vision? Vision is your past connecting to your present to take you to your future. Vision is your past connecting to your present to take you to your future. Vision is having having a picture of the future ahead of you. Vision is seeing the future today. Vision is seeing beyond what your eyes can see. Vision is seeing ahead of you. Vision is being here, and then you can see your life 20 years from today. And what connects you to your vision is planning. The work, the process. I can see my life 20 years from today. I can see the woman I'm going to marry. I can see the car I'm going to buy. I can see the company that I will have. And so Dr. Jane and Dr. Augustine came up with a vision. And what was the vision? To make home ownership dream a reality for as many people as possible. At the time that they have that vision, they never have a house of themselves. They probably didn't have a car. They were still living in rented apartment. But the vision was to make home ownership dream a reality for as many people as possible. The day they wrote that vision there, from that very moment, they got themselves working. Work was what was going to make the vision to come to fruition. I'm going to talk to you, give you 10 rules of work, what work can do for you, 10 rules of work, and then we'll close it up with personal development. When they wrote the vision down, they started work to make home ownership dream a reality for as many people as possible. And then they started with one company, P1 Homes, there in Okwado. And then they came up with something else. You see, when you are so particular about your vision, it guides you and propels you into what to do next to get it happen. When you have a vision for your life, it becomes the master plan that guides your entire life. So I said earlier on that vision comes from purpose. So their entire life was all about the vision. And there, they came up with network marketing, which we are privileged today. So they have a business model, sales and network marketing, networking, marketing, and sales became all. And so how were they going to grow that company from where they were in 2012 to where they are today? They started networking. They started getting people to come and partner with them. And then they keep growing to have one affiliate and get to another affiliate and get to another affiliate. And they grow it. As I speak to you, there are about 45 affiliates. The 45 affiliates, maybe before the year runs out, it will be 50. And maybe we're looking at, see, I just told you, another call coming. So, from affiliate, and they keep growing, networking. The first success summit that they came up with, they were talking about how to raise millionaires. I can tell you that they were not millionaires at the time. They started seeing the future. And because they saw the future, they were talking about the future in the present. They talk about the future day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. Before you know it, they were able to build support. As I speak to you today, that vision has taken them very far. They have virtually presence in all states, in all cities. Wherever you want to talk to, now they're going to diaspora. The man just came up from Atlanta. They have a branch there. They're going to Dubai. They're going to South Africa. So they're going everywhere. Why? Because the vision speaks. You need a vision for your life. As a PBU, you need vision for your life that will help you to propel you and help you to achieve that which God has put inside of you. Vision is a combination of your past, connecting you to your present, taking you to your future. I said to work is any activity, mental, physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result, a task or task to be undertaken. Now, there is something Madam said sometime. You know, she's a very successful woman today. Very successful woman. And if we want to throw a line and follow a line, now I was in the Gold Pro, I'm everywhere, the Gold Ring Pro program. There's a young lady, a lady who came up and who closed a deal of $5 billion. That was amazing. I mean, one of the most successful men in P1 Group today was shocked because he has never done that kind of deal before. In the person of Dr. Julius Edemi, that this one is another level altogether. She closed the deal, $5 billion. You see, you have to take the limit of your mind. How she did it, I don't know. And she gave somebody there, I asked a question, the person answered, she gave out $1 million. 2 people. You see? So, you see, if we can take the limit off us. Now, you would think that the woman just woke up and closed the deal. Sometimes she stays all through the night, connecting, making the calls, reaching out. It is work. She developed a very strong work ethic. And what was her idea? if she shared a little bit of it. She said she stays in Nigeria, and the place where we use their hotel and suites is being owned and managed by Lebanese. Lebanese are trooping into the country on a daily basis, and some of them were in the hall to monitor what was going on. If they could come and monitor what's going on, and the manager plays well, me being a Nigerian in this country, why should I be here poor? And do you know the owner of a hotel and suites manages several businesses in Nigeria, the Shaugre Group. Several businesses. The guy is a multi-billionaire. All his children here in Nigeria. If a foreigner could leave his country, and do you know that Lebanon is nothing compared to this country? There are about 4 million people living in Lebanon. And yet there are about 15 million Lebanese outside of Lebanon. And these 15 million people have to send money back home to sustain the country. They don't have money. There is war in the country. There is instability. The government is nothing to write to them about. In fact, the money value is so high, it's so bad, doesn't have any value. Why? But yet, there are wealthy people outside of the country of Lebanon who sustain and keep the country together. Now, if these people come into this country and they're doing this much, why will I be in Nigeria and not do something for myself? I have worked with Lebanon before for 5 years. An ethanol refinery company in Kogi State. They have a head office in Lagos. Now, I was wild with what they are doing there. Most of them don't go to school. But they push themselves. Why? Because they know where they're coming from. There is poverty in the land. In fact, if you should sack one Lebanese in Nigeria, the guy cries. The guy, why? Because he doesn't want to go back home. Because they are being treated like kings here in Nigeria. They have security and all of that. They don't enjoy all of that. The Nigerians treat them so wonderfully well. They are here. The man said, if Lebanese could come here and have this much wealth, why wouldn't I be a billionaire? And that is where it becomes. You can become anything you want to do with your life. It is your ability to begin to understand it and write it down. The Bible says, write a vision and make it plain upon table, that he may run that reader it. Write the vision. And when you write the vision, get to work. Get to work. What will bring the vision to fruition? It is work. It is work. So when you are lazy, you cannot get it done. No matter the vision that you have, no matter what you've written down. When you're lazy, you can't get anything done. If you go to the woman's home, the woman says she has television virtually in all the rooms, everywhere. She has never sat down to really watch movies. She has never really sat down to watch movies. She says she has her house up, and then the lady will sit down, watch African Magic from morning till night. Watch African Magic from morning till night. And day in, day out. And she just came and said, I bought this TV and this. Have you ever seen me sit down to watch TV? If this is the way I watch TV, will I achieve this kind of success? Would I be on this level? You see where we need to get a watch on ourselves. And then she switch up, get back to work. You're not here to be my house girl for life. Don't you have something? Think about what you want to do with your life. You were not born to be. In fact, when you stay in the house and you're house girl for 10 years or 20 years, there is something wrong with life. What are your plans for next year? What do you want to achieve for next year? How much sales do you want to make on a weekly basis? Do you want to be like the woman that closed the deal 5 billion naira? Who said you cannot do it? If she can do it, they can do it. Indians are coming into the country on a daily basis and they're making millions and millions of naira. I'm Nigeria. If I'm in this country, I should be better off than Lebanese. If I'm in this country, I should be better off than India. They are not expatriates, but they work. I've worked with them. They work. I've worked with the Lebanon that I have to stay up for 3 nights. 3 nights working. I was employed to work there as a HR manager. There was nothing in the HR department, and I have to build the department from the scratch. Now, when I see the way they work and the kind of energy they put to work, in fact, if you might start mentioning prayer, they come on, see, prayer is good, but prayer will not bring the billions. You've got to work for it. You've got to strategize. You've got to write the plan. So I started working and building the department. I was just a one-man department. I built a department. Now, the company was just about 50 staff straight at the time I joined. Now, we started bringing the policies, build the department, and work all through, design the culture, write the policies of the company, write down the structure for salary, did everything. Sometimes I stay up for 3 nights, not even remembering that I've got to go home to take my bath, working. And do you know that earned me so much I did not even know? Now, after having worked for them for 1 year, and I put so much in the place, and I didn't get a promotion, I didn't get the raise in salary, I resigned because I felt that I have done so much for myself that could take me and get me something better elsewhere. When I resigned and I got a job in Ilorin, my MD could not take it. My MD called me and offered me salary, and I said I wasn't taking it. I went back to Ilorin to work. The guy called me, good, come back. I came back and increased my salary. He promoted me to HR, was HR officer, he promoted me to HR manager. Now I kept working, bringing a whole lot. The guy pulled me so close to himself. Now he helped me to develop myself. He helped me to put so much work on myself. He helped me to do a whole lot and build me into the person that I was. So when he called me back, within a short time, the guy moved me from a position that I was and into a position that was only occupied by Lebanese. Lebanese were all the line managers. I became the head of HR and admin that was only occupied by Lebanese. And they were British in that company, they were Indian in that company. I happened to be one black man who sits amongst all of them and was a black guy whenever we were having board meeting. And what put me to that level was work. So you can put your phone on silence. So it's important for us to understand that I need to develop strong work ethics if I'm going to go somewhere. I need to develop strong work ethics. You won't be able to stand because you are at the door of expansion. Your next level requires a new you, a new mindset, strong work ethics, execution, and anything in between. You've got to be anxious for nothing. You've got to be anxious for something that hasn't even happened yet. With a vision and make it plain upon the table. You must be able to work like this man called Akmatum. I don't even know, the king of Dubai. Akmatum. How many of you heard about him? King of Dubai. King of Dubai, one thing that have helped that country to get to where it is today, it is work. A lot of us shy away from work. Akmatum barely sleeps. Akmatum want to see the best thing happen in Dubai. Akmatum want to see Dubai bigger than America. He want to see Dubai bigger than UK. You want to have the tallest building, and we have it. And do you know that the Burj Khalifa, the guy said, is coming up with another design that will be almost twice that building, and they're drawing it already. So if this guy has this kind of mindset, what did the Bible say? What did God say about those people who try to build a tower that will take them to heaven? He said, and whatsoever they imagine to do, nobody can stop them. You've got to ignite your imaginative power. There is something inside of you. If only you know it and discover it and wake yourself up all day, all night, be about it. You can transform your life in 6 months. You can move from where you are today to where you want to be. I don't need to. See, you've got to come to a point in your life. When I was in school, I was meant to believe that some people were more intelligent than I am. But that's not true. You are the best of yourself. You are the best person of yourself. Nobody is more brilliant than you are. Nobody is better than you are. Nobody is more beautiful than you are. You are the best. The only time when somebody can be compared with you and you can have a comparison, it is when the person have some traits like you. If you check out this, you are the only one person in the world that have this. No other person, your eye, your DNA, everything is peculiar to you. So if God created, put this much in me, I will not reduce myself. I'm having to look for somebody and say the person is better than I am. No, the only thing, because we have not been able to exert our brain. I went to University of Lagos. In 300 level, there was a question that was brought, business mathematics, to solve. And that question, when the brother said that the best graduating student at the time could not solve it. That was a limit. That was to scare those of us who were in school. If the best graduating student could not solve this problem, who am I? But I just told myself, I said, no. It is only me that can put that limitation on myself. I can do anything. I can achieve. I said, give me the question. They said, go. I said, let me have the question. I picked this question and I went to sit on this question for 2 nights. I kept working at it, go on the internet. I worked at it. And on the third day, I solved it. And when I took it to the class, this is the solution to the question. They were shocked. How did they do it? What that means is that there is no limitation with any mind. It is what you believe. The moment you believe that Bassi is more brilliant than you, it becomes brilliant than you. The moment you believe that somebody sitting next to you can do better than you, the person will do better than you. And the moment you believe that you have what it takes to be rich, guess what? The ability begins to come. It begins to guide you. I didn't know how to speak to people, but I've got to learn to speak. I've got to learn. I've got to follow people. I've got to follow TDJ, follow somebody hear me, listen to them. And when they speak, I say, I can speak. So now speaking became something I am so much in love with. That guess what? I'm looking at converting it, because when you know you're good at something, find a way to make money out of it. Commercialize your gift. What is your talent? What do you know? Today, you've got to, at least for you to get to a place of wealthy place, you must be able to have at least 6 streams of income. 6 streams of income. And which is what I'm working on today. I told the guy when he called me in London, I said, by this time, I'm going to come and talk to investors in your country, in that country that you live in. The guy Jackpa. You see, we need to understand something. A lot of people today are selling their properties to Jackpa, and those that are in there are sending money back home to build. So you can see there is something wrong. Now, if you are as rich as a Dr. Oyedemi, would you think of Jackpa? The kind of thing he gets here, he can get it anywhere in the world. So why would I have this much success? I want to go somewhere. I'm going for greener pasture. There is no better greener pasture than what he's enjoying. There is no better greener pasture than what Dr. Umere is enjoying. So why would you think that somebody like that wants to leave the country? It's about mindset. And people begin to talk into, people spend money just to leave the country. And some of them today are in UK and they're going through a lot. Some are in Canada, they're going through a lot. You see the kind of work that they have to do. You won't go through that kind of work. But if you can sit down and write and come up with stuff, drag it down, design it, and begin to work towards it, guess what? By the time you travel to UK, when I go to UK tomorrow, they will treat me better than those living there. And that is how you need to understand this thing. So today, I have 2 streams of income. I have a salary. And then I have a consulting business that I do. Today, so I'm getting money from here, I'm getting money from here. But in order for me to achieve the kind of success that I want, I need to make 4 million naira on a monthly basis. So for me to do that, I need to create more streams of income from January 2024. And one of those streams of income, it is what I'm doing today. So I won't just speak for fun, I will speak to make money. My friends have called me. My friends have called me to speak in the HR firm, to speak to professionals, to be a motivational speaker, to be a conference speaker. And when that begins to happen, you're not making money. You're making so much for yourself. And that is one. Now, you need to understand something about asset and liability. And this is how you need to work. Next year is going to be very, very wonderful, depending on the plan that you have now. I told myself, if I have a car, whatever takes money out of your pocket is a liability. Some of the things that we think is asset, it is not asset. Asset is whatever put money in your pocket. Liability is whatever takes money out of your pocket. If you have a car and you drive yourself from your house to your workplace, you're buying fuel. It's taking money from your pocket. I see people who pick people from where they're going to their office, and then they drop them and they pay them, and that money already can take care of its fuel for the day. And that's fine. I also see people who have cars, and the moment they get to the office, they register with Uber. Somebody comes to pick it up and go run around. So the guy makes money from salary, makes money from consulting, makes money from public speaking, makes money from both. And then think of trade business. I have a supply business. Think of supplying business to ethanol refinery company, coal, cassava chips, and you make money from there. I told you that I had a business that run down that started that business with 3.5 billion naira. Now the business was generating how much for me on a weekly basis? 400,000 naira. 400,000 naira in a month is 1.6 million naira. Now get back to that and start doing that. By the time you do all of that, you see that you have created many more streams of income. And now you're in the real estate. Start selling properties. Make commissions. So it is interesting that by the time people like this come, all of us come together to have this meeting, we'll be fighting for car space. Everybody should come with his car. Everybody should be doing extremely well. Everybody should be millionaire. And you've got to see yourself in that light and start working. You see, you can get whatever you want. It starts now. Before we step into 2024, what is your plan for 2024? How do you want to cross the level that you are? How do you want to move from being a self-employed to becoming an investor? We have 4 quadrants. We have the E here. Oh, come on, this thing is not right. We have the E here. We have the S here. Okay, all right, okay. Oh, thank you. And then you have the I here, and you have the B. Yeah, this is quadrant, 4 quadrants. You need to know where you are here. Where am I? I'm going somewhere. This is employee. This is self-employed. This is investor. And this is business owner. Now you can make much of life when you're here and you're here. So if you're here, you've got to start working on your streams of income to move from here to this side. If you're an employee, while you're being an employee, whatever you're making a salary, save some money and push it into some business until you're confident enough to stand on your own and you can pull out. Because nobody ever becomes wealthy by being an employee, by working for them. Nobody. Nobody ever becomes a multi-millionaire by being an employee. MD CEO. MD now, he is MD CEO, right? But he's a business owner. All right. He's an investor. He's a wealthy man. Now he has control. He can do stuff. He has a lot of investment. So you will not call this guy an employee. It's not an employee. He might be an employee to Owumere, but of course he's also an investor. Now the business with where P1 Group runs his business, when you become an MD, you own part of the business as well. So you're not just an employee to the guy. Now those people who work for him are employees. Those people who work for him cannot come to work 10 o'clock. This guy can come to work anytime he wants to come to work. This guy can stay back in the house and give instruction. And that is why, you see, if you look at them, that's where the organizational pyramid, you see where they belong. It's different from being, oh, thank you. If you see the pyramid the way it is, the pyramid is like this. See why these people are not just employees. Now you have this and you have this. This is the top level management. The MD are here. The chairman, they belong here. Directors are here. Now, the line managers are here. This is middle management. The line managers are here. Now, these are the people who have the vision. They have the strategy. They go out to find direction for the business. These people must execute what these people tell them to do. Now, we have 10 billion target. How are we going to achieve it? It will get down to the line managers. This is what we want to achieve. Now, these people here are officers. The cleaners, the account officers, and all of that. These people are managers. So now, these people stand a chance, right, because they also share part of the business. They also own the business. The MTN, the MD of MTN earns how much? And the guy also owns shares in the company. The top MDs of the banks are not just employees. At that level, you see them get a lot of bonuses, a lot of benefit, a lot of stuff that they can use to invest into businesses. And they also go out to do a whole lot of stuff. So you cannot refer to them, because if you watch very well, they could be here, they're here, they're here, and they're here. But this guy is just here. This guy does not own anything in the company. In fact, he cannot go and live until this guy approves it. So you see that why this guy must move away from here. Why? Because you can be work and then you're on the same level. They're paying you 100,000 for 3 years. 100,000 for 1 year is 1.2 million. That's what you're going to earn. The guy is spending how much to work? On a monthly basis, spend 30,000 naira. So you can see he's so limited with what he can do with 100,000 naira. But this guy is not limited. The MD is not limited. So that is why, even we being here, and that is why those of us that are here, that PBO, we have better chance than this guy and this guy. Why? Because you can own your business and still be a PBO. You can own your business, build yourself to a certain level. The woman that spoke to her that said she closed a deal of 5 billion. She's not working as MD for any of the company, but some of the MDs, most of the MDs in the company don't have what she has. She has grown herself to that level. So it's all about the mindset. It's all about building the belief system. It's all about